a 14-year-old student athlete. The crimes span months and included out-of-state trips. The 50-year-old faces up to 110 years in prison, with sentencing set for October 15th. And fans can now relive the iHeartRadio Music Festival on Hulu. The special features performances by LL Cool J, Mariah Carey, Glorilla, and more from the two-day event at T-Mobile Arena. The festival will be streaming for 21 days. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
New Schools for New Orleans is excited to announce that our Katrina 20 exhibit, After the Storm, 20 Years of Change and Progress in New Orleans Public Education, is now open to the public. You can experience this powerful look at how our schools have transformed since Katrina at the New Orleans Public School Library's main branch, 219 Loyola Avenue, during regular business hours, now through December. Bring your friends, family members, students, and colleagues. Looking for a group visit for your school or organization? Email us at info@nsno.org.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Out of my eyes, and I am blessed to be awake for another glorious day that God planted my feet on the ground and allowed me to safely get here. My name is Will Sutton, and with me is Chief Eddie Compass. And boy, do we have a show for you today. There's a lot going on. We got some great guests. And Eddie, it's Friday. Friday.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We are ready for the weekend.
Yep. So we're getting ready for the weekend. I wonder what some of you all are going to be doing. I got, God, oh, my Lord, there's just a boatload of things that I'll definitely be participating in. Some of them may be participating in others. There's so many choices, and we're going to talk about some of that today. But right now, let's dive into what you know is really important, which is the campaign. We've got an election coming up on October 11th. So that's just a few days from now. But one of the most important set of days for you all to remember is today, Friday, October 3rd, and tomorrow, Saturday, October 4th. Why those 2 days? Because that's the end of early voting. So those of you who have cast your ballot, and there have been thousands of you who have been voting since Saturday. But there's still an opportunity for voting early today or tomorrow. And that's at 4 locations. That's at City Hall, where there is 1 hour free parking. Just let them know that you're there to vote, and you shouldn't get a ticket. That's City Hall. There's the Algiers Courthouse. There's also the voting machine warehouse, and there's the Lake Vista Community Center. So those are the 4 early voting locations. You don't vote at your normal voting location unless you're voting there on election day. So we want to encourage you to get out there and vote, choose your candidates, be ready before you walk in so you're not stumbling around trying to figure out, okay, who am I going to vote for? Go ahead and make those decisions before you get in. There's plenty of good information out there about the candidates and where they stand on a variety of issues. You can go to the Urban League of Louisiana's website and look at their eight candidate debates and forums that they hosted There's a Save Our Souls. You can take a look at their Facebook page. You can take a look at any number of, if you just use a Google search and put in New Orleans mayoral campaign debate forum, up will come several, or you put in District A, City Council District A, or City Council District E, or assessor to see what incumbent Errol Williams had to say and his challenges. So there's plenty of good information out there. It's up to you to take a look. And of course, we know, like us, you're getting a lot of flyers. If you've been any kind of regular voter, we're getting a lot of flyers, and it's that time of the campaign when it's not all the good stuff. It's like some attack mailers as well.
Yeah, I look at the perspective of the candidates. It's they've gotten their message out for the most part over the last few months, but now they're in a stretch run. So it's like some of them have to throw a Hail Mary. Some of them have to, especially individuals that are way behind and not well known. So everything is going to transpire in the next couple of weeks, and we want you to be very, very informed. We want you to do your due diligence. We want you to make sure people that you vote for, their ideology lines up with yours. They have basically proven in the past, whether in public office or in private sector, that they have the qualifications to do the job. And the ultimate decision is with you. That's what's so great about this country we live in. We have a real democracy. A lot of times in other countries, they don't have this type of freedom to pick their leaders. And, even though we are very critical of our society sometimes, this is the best society, this is the best government, this is the best place to live in the world. People want to live in the United States of America. And New Orleans is one of the greatest cities in the world. People want to live in New Orleans. It's a privilege to live here. I had opportunities to go many, many places, but I wouldn't live anywhere but New Orleans because I love the city. I love what it stands for. I love its resiliency. I love its potential. I love the people, and I love the spirit. And when we go to that poll, we want to pick our leaders that encapsulates that. What New Orleans stands for: hard work, caring about people, making situations better. And no matter who you vote for, just vote, because it's not just your right, it's your responsibility. Because like I always say, people have died for your right to go to that poll. They have made the ultimate sacrifice. So please don't disrespect them and disrespect the legacy of those people who have made those sacrifices. So, that's my my spiel for the weekend. So hopefully, we continue to go out, because people are out there in record numbers in the,
Absolutely.
And so,
thousands of people.
Thousands of people.
Yeah,
so,
have already voted.
voted.
So your vote definitely will make a difference. As a matter of fact, I wrote that in my column for the weekend. If we have enough time, maybe we'll touch on that.
All right.
But there's a different way to look at this election. And I wrote a piece. Actually, it just went up like just an hour ago on NOLA.com. So it's online, and it will be in the newspaper on Sunday, giving readers and those who choose to read an opportunity to see this from a little bit different perspective as we get into the closing campaign days before the October 11th election, October 11th primary. My colleague over at Times-Picayune, Ben Myers, been digging into the paperwork because, the candidates have filing deadlines when they have to file campaign finance reports.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah. And so what he found is that City Council Vice President Helena Moreno, who is running for mayor, took in more than $200,000 from September 2nd through September 21st. And Royce Duplessis, State Senator Royce Duplessis, also run for mayor, took in more than $200,000
Wow.
between September 2nd and September 21st. Now, of course, $200,000 is not chump change.
No.
That's a lot of money, especially in less than a month, September 2nd to 21. I didn't say September,
Right.
not the full month of September.
Right.
From September 2nd to September 21.
That's 19
$200,000. That's a good pull for any candidate. And, of course, Moreno has the huge war chest that she's had for some times now, and this is just building more on top of that. But for State Senator Duplessis, he doesn't have the millions that Moreno has, and neither does City Council member Alba Thomas. But to have $200,000 come in September 2nd through September 1, you're not in first place, but you are bumping up against the possibility of getting into a runoff. $200,000 helps quite a bit. City Council member Alba Thomas brought in $26,000 in that same period. So nothing to squint at. I mean, any amount that you raise as you, particularly in the final days, that's a good amount to get. According to Ben Myers, Moreno spent $925,000 and still has $770,000 cash on hand. And Duplessis spent $586,000 and holds about $221,000. And Thomas spent $222,000 and still has about $120,000 in his campaign bank account. So the way that Ben has looked at what they have reported, so this isn't reporting based on just scanning media, but it's based on what they reported in these campaign finance reports. It's like Duplessis has spent money on advertising, with 2/3 of that spending being on media buys. And Alba Thomas has spent less on advertising and spent more on canvassing and get out the vote grassroots activities. So that's kind of where they've been spending their time and their money. Moreno, of course, has spent more money, and so she's been able to spend broader and bigger on campaign advertising and other activities as we get into the closing weeks of the campaign. And Ben notes that part of the spending has popped up are these attack mailers. So these aren't from the campaigns,
Right.
at least not per se.
Right.
So Ben, with the reporting that he did, found a group that's targeting State Senator Duplessis, called the Protecting Our Future, which is a Washington, D.C. Nonprofit engaged in political activities. And that group has been spending money to attack the senator, basically focusing on his undergraduate and immediate postgraduate connections to Entergy. This is something that the senator has addressed a number of times, that he had an internship during undergraduate school here at Xavier, and also that after school he worked for a energy-related consultancy, consulting city council. So he called it, quote, dark money, anonymous stuff, when he was asked about that. And there's also another one that Ben looked at, and that's better People for a Better New Orleans. And that one is criticizing Moreno, primarily focused on her lack of support of business development generally. And when Ben Myers reached out to Dillard University professor Blair Kondo, who is associated with People for a Better New Orleans, he said that it's they're not anti-Moreno, but they are pro-business development, and that they're also planning to scrutinize Oliver Thomas. So we'll see what that looks like. We don't get all of these mailers, but of course, when it's in the early voting period, and as we get closer to Election Day, there are more mailers, and there are social media posts and other types of information to try to sway the vote.
Right.
And but it's a whole lot easier with money,
Right.
To do that. So, have you gotten any more mailers, Chief Eddie?
Looked like they were listening to me when I said I already voted. I haven't gotten any since I said that. So maybe they were listening.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we've got all kinds of things going on related to the campaigns. Of course, we had the University of New Orleans poll that came out. We'll take a look at that today as well. And we see that Liz Murrow has jumped into one of the campaigns, and so that's not the most prominent campaign, but that is the clerk race. You have incumbent Darren Clark, and his toughest challenger is a guy named Calvin Duncan, and he has reported that he has been exonerated after spending time in prison, and Liz Murrow is criticizing him and accusing him of misleading voters about how his murder conviction was vacated. So these might be legal terms, but these are important legal terms to those who are involved, those who are part of that community, and of course, attorneys and their attorneys. And in a letter to Duncan on Tuesday, Liz Murrow accused Duncan of making statements about his exoneration that are, quote, inaccurate and a misrepresentation of the proceedings that occurred. I request that you cease representing to the public that you were, quote, exonerated, unquote, to avoid further action from this office, close quote. So Duncan was cleared by a judge in August of 2021 after serving 20 years at Angola for a murder he did not commit, according to court records. So those are the court records. But there is a difference with whether you are exonerated versus you have a case vacated. So that's kind of the crux of the issue that Liz Murrow is bringing up. And of course, former DA Leonard Canizero works for Liz Murrow, so he was involved in that case way back when. So that's something to pay attention to. It may or may not factor into your decisions about that particular race, but we're going to keep updating you on some of the things that you might want to know, should know, and you need to know as we go along in today's Good Morning Show. We're coming up after the break. We're going to have New Orleans Association of Black Journalists Vice President Greg Lee Jr. from the local NABJ chapter. They've got a big event coming up tomorrow, and he's going to fill us in about that. We also have our friend Kevin Ferguson coming up later in the show from the New Orleans and Company, talking about hospitality and tourism and some wonderful things that are going on in the city of New Orleans. And we'll have our friends from Liberty Bank here to help us keep financially healthy in these stressful financial times. So we've got that and more coming up on the Good Morning Show. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Good Friday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. Multiple investigations now underway after a violent night in the Crescent City. The latest happened in Gentilly. Police say a man was gunned down around 2 o'clock this morning on Louisa Street near Chef Mentor Highway. And a few hours before that, police were on the scene of another homicide where a woman was killed in the Broadmoor neighborhood. Police say this happened around 11 o'clock last night on General Taylor Street near South Dorgenwall Street. Today, NOPD Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick is expected to meet with state leaders about the possibility of the National Guard coming to New Orleans. She says she was told to meet with National Guard leaders, State Police Superintendent Robert Hodges, and Governor Jeff Landry. A request from the governor would deploy the Guard to New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Shreveport through next year to address crime. All right, y'all, Granton Fest gets underway this afternoon, bringing thousands of people together to enjoy music, food, arts, and crafts, all while supporting local businesses. Some of the headliners for this year's festival include Sam Hunt, Trombone Shorty, and Orleans Ave, Collective Soul, Brothers Osborne, and Natasha Bedingfield. And the 9th Annual Fried Chicken Fest kicks off tomorrow, and event organizers are preparing for a record crowd. This year, the fest will have a 5K on Saturday morning before the fest starts. There's also a more family-friendly environment with special kid areas and Ferris wheel as well. An exciting weekend for a lot of festival goers out there. I'm Daryl Fortis with WDSU News. Have a great day and a great weekend.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Collab Capital is an early-stage venture capital fund designed to help close the funding gap for black entrepreneurs. And it recently closed its latest funding round with $75 million in committed capital. Jules Burke-Solomon is co-founder and managing partner of Collab Capital, and she says a big part of the VC firm's early success comes down to the work she's put into meeting people.
We spend a lot of time on the road, meeting with limited partners, getting them excited about our vision for shared prosperity, and really telling a different story about how we're finding incredible entrepreneurs who are building a different type of future. And so I think that's what got our limited partners excited.
Beyond funding, Collab Capital also offers operational support and tries to help founders build a network of partnerships. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner. I'm the Black Business Beat.
Lowe's knows you've got a job to do, and we help get it done. With the MyLowe's Pro Rewards program, eligible members save more with volume discounts on qualifying orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer can't be combined with any other discount, contract, and/or special pricing. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
New Orleans is an easy city to love. It shouldn't be a hard place to live. I'm Matthew Willard, born and raised in Gentilly, proud to carry on my family's tradition of public service. In less than 6 years, I passed 36 bills that made a difference. Now I'm running for City Council at Large Division 1 so we can keep living in the city we love. Safe, affordable, and one that gets the job done. New Orleans, let's make it happen. Paid for by the Matthew Willard Campaign.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. For those of you who have been listening, you heard us talk about the election coming up October 11th, but today is early voting and tomorrow is early voting. Thousands have voted already. There's still an opportunity for you to vote on early voting day today and early voting day tomorrow. Please get out there and take care of your duty and your obligation. As we promised, after the break, we've got in studio Greg Lee, Professor Greg Lee from Loyola. Brothers has had a number of different titles, so we probably should skip some of those to let you know that what he's here to talk about is the New Orleans Association of Black Journalists Scholarship Jazz Brunch, which is happening tomorrow. Greg has the honor and the insanity of being the NABJ chapter vice president.
Just serving the president. The president has asked.
Something that he's done in for various years at various times, and he also had the privilege, honor, and the hard work of being the national president of the National Association of Black Journalists, and if my memory serves, I believe it was number 19.
Number 19, yeah.
Number 19. So welcome to the Good Morning Show, Greg Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know what? I became national president because of him.
Oh, wow.
Because of Will. He was president. He was getting ready to run for president, and there was a regional conference here in New Orleans. I was director of that regional conference in New Orleans, and then he asked me to run for secretary, not knowing I was getting into.
Right.
Next thing you know, I'm serving on his board. And that's how I got started in 1999 because of him at the Marriott Hotel on Canal Street.
Marriott on Canal. That's right. Yep. Yeah, he's like, okay, what are we talking about? Like, well, we need younger voices. I mean, I was even younger then.
Right.
But we do. I mean, we need younger people coming in leadership. And I have continued to work on that as a part of what I do in my life generally, but particularly in NABJ. And as Greg knows from the years, he might not have believed me at the time in 1999, but I want young people to come in. I want to be able to help them. I want to help them grow. I want them to be provided with opportunities, and I don't want them to be me. I don't want them to be me. So that means come on in, learn about this, and let's have some philosophical conversations. Let's have some debates. Let's have some differences to grow the organization. And so Greg agreed. He said, okay, well, what do I need to do? I said, well, you need to do this, this, and this, and this, and you need to do it before 5 o'clock today.
And I did.
That's how that journey started. So what about this event tomorrow?
Yeah, the event tomorrow is our 3rd annual Jazz Brunch, St. Silent Auction. We're honoring a lot of legendary journalists and giving some money to some students, but, included, we honoring you, Mr. Sutton, Mr. President.
Man.
All right.
Yeah, it's an honor, to be here with him. Like I said, he's responsible for me being this mess. He's been responsible for a lot of mentorship over the years to a lot of young people, and that's why we are here. We're going to honor his legacy, and along with other people like Fernell Chapman, a trailblazing news anchor and trusted voice in New Orleans journalism.
I remember him.
Yep, the great Andre Trevine, the late Andre Trevine.
Oh, yeah.
She was just a hard-hitting driver. When I was a kid here, I used to watch Andre as a kid.
I used to be on her show every week. She had to talk to the chief.
Yeah. And then Sabrina Wilson.
Sabrina.
Yeah. Sabrina is gonna be great. And
Class personified.
Oh no, very classy, and she's just an awesome lady, and just very happy that she's being honored. And then we have our a unsung hero award, Willie Wilson, the first African American news photographer at WWL TV. So we're gonna be honoring those tomorrow. Looking forward to giving everyone their flowers and also have show the students their little history. The students that we're honoring tomorrow, we have 4 students, 2 from Nicholls State, a student from Dillard, and a student from LSU. So
good mix.
Yeah, good mix. And plus, last year we gave out 2. This year we're up to 4 scholarships. And
oh wow!
Yeah, no, we've got a lot of partners, including Energy, who's our presenting sponsor, and a lot of other supporters in our cause to make sure that we are giving back to the young people and making sure that they have the opportunities that we were afforded when we were coming, especially me and Will coming up in the organization. That I received a scholarship 30 years ago. The same scholarship these kids are getting, I got it 30 years ago. So I know what the power of what that scholarship means to young people.
So That's happening tomorrow. And is it too late for people to go? Is it open?
Today's the last day to buy tickets. You can go.
Oh, today is the last day?
Today's the last day. So go to noabj.org. You can go there and buy your tickets today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what if somebody says, well, that's a great event, but, I wish I knew sooner, but I can't go, but I want to support. What would you suggest?
I would suggest there's an area inside. You go inside to the website, and you can still donate. You can buy tickets for students. There's a place for that. If you want to donate, is inside the form, so you can do that and donate.
All right. So now that this has been done a couple of times, what should people who have never been expect at a New Orleans Association of Black Journalists Scholarship Jazz Brunch? So you say scholarship, you expect some scholarship.
Yes.
You say jazz, you expect
we're going to have some music. We will have music.
You say brunch, music. People expect some food.
We will have some good food.
So what is that going to be? What time you starting?
We're starting at 11 o'clock. It's from 11 to 2. We're going to have a good program when we get there. People, we're able to get some refreshments before we get started. We listen to some music. We got a band. We have a DJ. We also have a silent auction.
We have a band and a DJ.
We're doing everything this year, so we keep growing. It's the third year, so we got to take it a little higher. So, but we have an auction with a lot of different items people have donated, including some prints from Terrence Osborne, and we got some gifts for a one-night stays at I believe one of them was a Ross and Esther. We got a sponsor for.
Right.
And we had a couple of nights.
Big
so,
time.
So,
nice staycation.
Nice little staycation. So we have a lot of.
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Exactly.
An awardee, but I'm gonna have to look at the live auction.
Yeah, so these items, go towards our scholarship fund. So like we have the ability to go from 2 to 4, and hopefully we can do more next year. All
right. So people have busy lives, especially working in the media.
Yeah.
So not everybody can be at everything. But tell us about. Who are some of your colleagues on the board of the New Orleans Association of Black Journalists, and maybe all of them or some of them will be there, and some other media folks who are part of the chapter. Some names that people might recognize, and others they might not recognize, but they have some important jobs.
Yeah, Sharice Gibson's our president. She's done a great job. She's the great anchor at WWL, so you know her name. I'm the vice president. We have Nakandra Norwood, a meteorologist. Right down the street at Fox 8. We have Lance Washington, who's also on our board, and he's at Gray Media. Rod Walker, the sports columnist at the Advocate Times-Picayune, he's on the board. And he's our scholarship co-chair, along with Mary Stays from WDSU. So we have a good, small, but responsible and dedicated team. I actually texted him last night, just saying, I'm so proud of them. Because I'm a former president. I'm a national president. I should be retired.
Right.
But I saw that they were dedicated. They had commitment, and that's why I said I wanted to help out in any way I can and support them, because it's very important to support our local chapters. And we have many of them around the country. And for them to pull us off again a third straight year, really to show that we are part of this community, to show that we advocate of diversity and telling our stories, and also to give back to the students and give them a leg up in this industry, which is very, very tough and competitive, but it's also exciting.
Yep. Well, we're talking to Greg Lee, Vice President for the New Orleans Association of Black Journalists. Got the exciting Scholarship Jazz Brunch coming up tomorrow at 11 a.m. There's still time to get tickets to go to that event. But today is the last day to get those tickets. If you've got a question or a comment, the phone number, the talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. Now, Chief, have you ever been to one of these events?
No, I haven't.
All right. Well, I know you're busy tomorrow, but maybe we'll get a little video so you can get a taste.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let me ask on behalf of the parents and the grandparents who have a kid who might be in 6th grade or might be in 11th grade or might be in college, kind of thinking about what to do, they're not sure, or somebody who they feel like they're a good writer, or they present well, they talk well, they might have some talent. Is this an opportunity for a young person like this, or is this kind of an all adults kind of thing?
No, there's a mix. Definitely one of the great parts of this event is that it's a chance for mentorship, because a lot of students who will be there, I know we have my students from Loyola University. They'll be there. I know students from Dillard will be there, and other schools all around. I know Nicholls State's going to be represented very well because of the 2 winners there. So it's opportunity for the students to meet the professionals and get some tips from us and to try to form mentorships with people, which is very important in this business. It's about what you know, but it's also who you know to get you get through that door. Because again, it's a very competitive environment in our industry, but it's also exciting. So it's a great time for students to be here because we are willing to talk. Anytime a young person want to talk to me and talk shop and ask, how did I make it? I'll tell them the story and tell them how they can do it. So that's why a lot of our, that's why we're there too as well, to make sure the young people get that guidance and that encouragement to keep moving forward.
So in one place tomorrow, you can see Black journalists and Black communications professionals of various lengths of service and career tenure. You can see young folks who just been in the business for 1 to 5 years, and other folks who've been at it for
a long
40
time.
or 50 years. You can see folks of people who are photojournalists, people who are producers, people who are general managers of the station. I think we'll have at least one.
Probably
there.
have one, yeah, probably.
At least one television general manager, the whole different level of a job. Generally speaking, you're not going to see that kind of person on air, but a very important job with making decisions about what is and is not done, especially in the business aspects of the media operations. We're likely to have a news director or 2. We're likely to have an editor 2 or 3. There as well. So these are people in positions to hire. And people in positions to hire the people who hire. And it's not too early to get an idea of what types of things might be needed. I know when I was a student at St. Aug, and my mama thought I was a great writer, I know I wasn't. But mama saw something in me. So it took that recognition and that support to put me in places where I could learn to do better. To learn to do better. And this is one of those kinds of places that I wish I had when I was a kid in high school and even in college, to have that kind of thing. Because when I joined the National Association of Black Journalists, we didn't have student chapters, and I was the only member at Hampton because it was so new. Hardly anybody knew what it was. So why join that? That kind of thing. Well, I did, and it turned out to be an incredible decision and a wonderful opportunity for my growth as a journalist, and also my growth as a person. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow, not because I'm a Legacy Award awardee, but to see my colleagues in the media, be honored to see the young folks who are getting these scholarships, because I know that's a part of their journey. They're on their way, and this is going to be an important part of keeping them going, and to mix and mingle with folks. So if you're out there and you want to go and you don't have any kids, that's all right. Come on out and enjoy the camaraderie.
We'll be at the cannery, so we're going to have a good time.
We'll be at the cannery, easy to park. So, Greg, I know we're going to have to go to break in a bit, but tell us the difference between working with a chapter of NABJ like the New Orleans Association of Black Journalists and the National Association of Black Journalists, because you've now had the opportunity to work in multiple chapters. And what is that like as a professional and versus working with NABJ at the national level?
Well, the national level is a lot of work, as you know. You got to manage with 4,000 people. You have a staff to raise money all year round for our national convention, which is our biggest event every year. That's a lot of work. You got to plan hotels. You got to plan you got to have people to plan the convention. You have people fundraise for that, to get all the speakers, and also during the year there will be a lot of challenges. This past week, our national president went to the Washington Post to go advocate on behalf of Karen Attiah and a lot of Black journalists who have left the Washington Post. There's a lot of advocacy as president of the organization. So when there issues arise in our industry, that concerns our membership, the president and national board have to put in work and go speak on our behalf. And so there's a lot of work to be done and still to be done. But as president, you have to manage all the chapters around the country. You have to manage the student chapters. That's why you have a board of directors. You have regional directors. You have all those type of people in assignment and put in place. And look, as a president, you have to assign different people to different tasks. You got to chair certain committees and stuff of that sort to make sure the organization is running. You do it for 2 years. Now it's 4 years for those. We changed our constitution. So for those who really want to be crazy, they go 4 years. but it's really a lot of horror. But it's really a blessing to do that. I was blessed when I was president. My first year as president, the convention came here, my hometown, New Orleans, and in 2012, and it was. Right as we were still recovering from Katrina, and one of the things I was proud of, we got a partnership with Home Depot where we helped rebuild 5 homes. That was one of the things that I wanted to do when we came home to bring my convention to my city, and I wanted to contribute back. And that's one of the things I asked my executive director of my team to let's go find Home Depot or find somewhere we could do some rebuilding homes. And it's one of the most satisfying, rewarding things of doing that, bringing the convention home.
Yep. Well, tomorrow, that's at 11 o'clock. You're going to have a chance for cocktails and other drinks.
That's right.
I mean, mocktails will be available.
Mocktails will be available. I'm getting mimosas.
Okay. Before the Scholarship Jazz Brunch starts, that's a wonderful time for some conversation, mixing and mingling, some networking. If you plan to go, you haven't been there, reach out to me. I'll be happy to know that you're coming and look out for you if you're a WBOK listener. And how can people contact you or contact the chapter and inquire about tickets or sponsoring a student or two?
Yes, you can go to noabj.org, or you can follow us on Instagram on noabj1. We usually very responsive in those areas, and you can find us there, and we have our contact information all on there. So we're looking forward to seeing everyone at the Cannery tomorrow. Honoring you, Will. Like I said, he's my NABJ dad because he put me in this mess.
That's a good job. He's a mentor.
My mentor. So, looking forward to honoring you and all the other people. Sabrina Wilson, who I've known since about this high in journalism. I've been, I went to Xavier, so I was out down the street. Yep. So, seeing Sabrina again, honoring all the other people is going to be a very great experience. And seeing the faces on those students getting their scholarships and meeting all the honorees and getting a chance to meet all the veterans around to get some advice and networking. And I'm looking forward to one of the winners because he wants to be a sports journalist. So
that's great.
That's great. So that's going to be fun to see Shamar Nickel State, who wants to be a sports journalist. So I'm looking forward to it because I'm a sports journalist. So I'm always partial to those who want to study that.
Right. Well, great. Well, thank you so much for coming in, getting up bright and early to join us on the Good Morning Show here at WBOK 1230 AM on the South Campus of the gorgeous and wonderful Xavier University of Louisiana. Look forward to joining you and the others tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock at the Cannery for the New Orleans Association of Black Journalists Scholarship Jazz Brunch. One more time, how can they get tickets and maybe sponsor a student?
www.noabj.org. Check it out. It's on the website. Today's the last day to buy tickets.
Last day, folks. All right. Well, after the break, we'll be coming back and talking about the news that you want to know, might want to know, should know, stuff you need to have on your mind, and maybe some things that you need to watch out for. Coming up later in the show, we'll have our friend Kevin Ferguson from New Orleans Company talking about some wonderful activities that are going to be going on this weekend and upcoming. And we'll also have our friends from Liberty Bank talking to us about how we can stay financially healthy. All right, you're listening to WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Partly to mostly cloudy at times. Most of the storms confined to the coast, but a 30 to 40% chance of scattered storms in New Orleans, a high of 85. Partly to mostly cloudy, a 30 to 40% chance of scattered showers and storms on Saturday, a high of 84. Showers and storms likely are overnight Saturday to Sunday, rain winding down through the day on Sunday, and that should be all of southeast Louisiana that gets that rain. We're looking for highs confined down to about 83. Watching a couple areas of possible formation in the Atlantic and tropics, I'm not concerned. I'm Chief Meteorologist Devin Lucy with your WDSU First Warning Weather. Have a safe and great weekend.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
Michelle Woodfork is New Orleans born and raised, a proud graduate of St. Mary's Academy. She earned a master's in criminal justice and rose through the ranks to become chief of police. She turned the NOPD around, reducing crime, boosting morale, and expanding recruitments. She's earned this city's trust, and as sheriff, she'll be a leader we can all be proud of. Michelle Woodfork, proven, prepared, the right choice.
Paid for by Michelle Woodfork for sheriff.
What's the future for New Orleans? Will city services ever function efficiently? Our people need answers, not slogans. That's why the Nonpartisan City Services Coalition has asked the candidates for mayor how they plan to fix city government. Want to know what they said? Go to cityservicescoalition.com to see for yourself. It's time for action, not excuses. The next step is yours.
Paid for by the City Services Coalition.
New Orleans deserves a leadership that actually delivers. Fixing city services, cutting waste, and actually holding departments accountable. I'm not running because I want the title of mayor. I'm running because I want to be the people's mayor. We've done so much. Crime is down over the last 3 years. Six Flags is being revitalized after 20 years of neglect. Lincoln Beach finally funded. But we have more to do. I'm Oliver Thomas. I'm running to be your mayor. Not for me, but for us.
Paid for by Friends of Oliver Thomas.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. We just had a fabulous conversation with Greg Lee, the Vice President of the New Orleans Association of Black Journalists. They're having their annual scholarship jazz brunch tomorrow at the Cannery. That's going to be at 11 a.m., ending no later than 2 p.m. So if you've got some place to go, people to see, things to do, even if it is the National Chicken Festival, because we know people lining up and getting their tickets and making their plans to get out there and have a fabulous day of some chicken eating and some fabulous music. Going to be a great time on the lakefront with that event. But yes, there are other things going on in the city, and that includes the New Orleans Association of Black Journalists event at 11 a.m. And yours truly will be one of the Legacy awardees, honored tomorrow, and I'd love to see you there. I am Will Sutton, and with me is Chief Eddie Compass, and we are back, and we're going to be hearing from Kevin Ferguson about things going on with the New Orleans and Company, and we're going to hear from our friends at Liberty Bank, talking about financial health. Right now, I want to remind you once again that there is an election coming up, October 11th, and today and tomorrow are the last 2 days of early voting. So we like to keep you abreast of how things are going. So yesterday's early voting figures look like this. There were 730 votes at City Hall. There was 539 votes at the Algiers Courthouse. And there were 1,155 votes at the voting machine warehouse. And at Lake Vista Community Center, there was 1,070 votes. So that's thousands more who voted yesterday. And that adds up to just shy of 3,500. That's 3,494 votes, in-person votes yesterday. Keep in mind, that does not include the tally, which develops every day, of the absentee and mail ballots, because those who are eligible for mail ballots get those. They could have requested them already, and they can bring them in or mail them in. As long as they are received by September 10th, they can count. So every day, those ballots are coming in, and that's something to keep in mind as we watch these good numbers of early voters coming out. So that's some pretty good numbers from yesterday, Chief.
Yeah, it's very impressive. You know, when you look at it, you know, people are really taking this election seriously, you know, and when I went to the various forums, they were well attended. You know, they were asking very poignant questions. You know, the candidates were handling themselves extremely well in all the debates I went to. You know, and that's what the democracy is about. That's what the system we have in our country is about. You know, getting information out there, presenting yourself to the voters, and the voters making a well-informed and educated and intelligent decision on who do they want to represent them. And like I always say, when you pick someone for mayor, think about it. You're going to be picking them for the next 8 years, because if history repeats itself as it usually does in these type of things, we have never had an incumbent mayor ever defeated in recent history. So when you look at it from that perspective, this is an 8-year decision. So we want everybody well-informed. We want everybody to make the decision that basically they can live with. And the only way to do that is to get information, study that information, then go and make your decision.
That's right. And again, you know, for those who you are regular listeners, you know that we like to give you more deeper information than just say, do your duty and vote. We like to provide you with information to help you individually and to help your family and your friends, your church members, your colleagues at work. So that absentee voting is not just for old people. It is. It includes people, senior citizens, who are 65 and older, folks like us.
Like us.
But it does not limit to that category of people. If you're in the military or if you overseas for whatever reason, you are eligible to vote by mail. If you have a disability, you're eligible to vote by mail. If you are a higher education student, staff, or professor working outside of your parish, you can vote by mail. Religious clergy of whatever kind, if you are an official part of religious clergy, you can vote by mail. If you're going to be temporarily absent, doesn't even matter why. I mean, you can be on vacation visiting grandkids, but you're not going to be here and you want to vote. You can vote by mail. If you have moved to a new residence and it's more than 100 miles away from your former residence within 30 days of the election, you can vote where you have been registered, as long as you have not re-upped yet in your new parish. So you can vote by mail. If you have been involuntarily confined to an institution, but you're still eligible to vote, you're still registered to vote, you can vote by mail. If you are a sequestered juror, and there are juries all the time, and these opportunities are not necessarily in the news, We certainly don't know who's on these juries at any given time, but if you're in a sequestered jury, you can vote by mail. If you're hospitalized or otherwise going to be in the hospital during early voting today or tomorrow or on election day, you can vote by mail. And if you are out on the waters, you're offshore, and you're going to be offshore because a number of those jobs you're off for days and days and days. Oh, yeah. You can make arrangements and you can vote by mail. If you are incarcerated and have a non-felony and you got a sheriff's certificate, you can vote by mail. And if you are participating in the state's address confidentiality program, there's a way for you to vote by mail as well. So you have to make the request through the Secretary of State's office. You get the ballot. You'll see that there are different envelopes. You go through the ballot. You decide who you want to vote for. Hopefully you're voting in each of the categories that you're eligible to vote. And then you seal that ballot and you mail it in. It must be received by September 10th. If you put it in the mail on September 10th, more likely than not, it will not count. But if you, October 10th. If you put it in mail on October 10th, more likely than not, it will not count. So you have to make sure that it is received on or before October 10th. That's the day before the election, and that mail ballot will count. So please get out there and early vote. There are 4 voting locations: Lake Vista Community Center, City Hall, the Algiers Courthouse, and, of course, the voting machine warehouse. All places where you can park to some degree. Certainly the parking is easiest at the voting machine warehouse, but there are places to park at Lake Vista and the Algiers Courthouse. And City Hall is giving you an hour or so of free parking if you want to go to City Hall and vote. So we hope that you'll do your due diligence, pay attention to what's going on, and pull together your thoughts and decide how you're going to cast your ballots in each race that you are eligible to participate in.
Yeah, like I said, you should make this a family project, because that's how generations learn about the importance of voting. I know when I was a child, I was fortunate enough to be part of the TIPS organization with Louis Charbonnet and Bernard Charbonnet, and they educated us as children about voting and the importance of voting and the power in voting. And that's when, being part of that organization, I met, political giants like, Don Hubbard, like Sidney Bartholomew, Lambert Boisier, and I learned from the ground up, as a child, educated in the process. And when you understand the real power that you have, then you are empowered. And when you, as a family, impart that knowledge throughout your family, you're creating generational power. And when you have that type of mentality, then you can make a real difference. And when you look at this election, like I said, it's it comes around every 4 years. And you have to look at everybody for every position and look at their record, look at those who aren't in office, what they have done to prepare themselves for this position, and make an informed decision. But like I said, the main thing is to vote, because inaction is an action. If you don't vote, saying your vote doesn't count, that's not true. We've had too many examples where a couple of votes determined the outcome. Like we say all the time about the situation with Chief Whitehorn in Shreveport. 2 votes. Our congressman, when he first ran, it was less. I think it was like 30 votes when he ran for council or state representative. I can't remember which one, but I mean, it's the amendment that the sheriff was trying to get passed. It was what, two votes. Mm-hmm. So your vote definitely counts. And like I always reiterate and say it. I know I'm redundant sometimes, but people have given their lives for our right to vote. have given and made the ultimate sacrifice. And it'd be a shame. It'd be an injustice. It would be a disrespect not to get out there and exercise your right to vote.
All right, we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we'll be talking with our friend Kevin Ferguson from New Orleans and Company about some wonderful activities and events that are going to be going on this weekend and upcoming. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM. This is the Good Morning Show. If you got something on your mind, you want to call in, you want to share, tell us about your events that are happening this weekend. Today, tomorrow, Sunday. People always like to know about things to do. That phone number is 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Trump officials visited Memphis, Tennessee Wednesday as federal forces began a crime crackdown. Attorney General Pam Bondi and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth met with law enforcement and National Guard troops.
This is long term. We are going to work hand in hand to make the most violent crime city in the country have no crime.
Black Mayor Paul Young hopes it brings results. A year after being shot 10 times while pregnant, a black mother from Memphis, Tennessee, Kiera Maxwell, is calling for federal help. Her boyfriend Maurice Dorsey was killed in the ambush. Maxwell survived, gave birth, and now walks through pain to show her sons her resilience. And Mass Appeal and Marvel are teaming up for a new comic series, Legend Has It, honoring hip-hop icons like Nas, Ghostface Killah, and De La Soul. The limited edition comic debuts October 10th at New York Comic-Con. Get BIN News now, on demand, 24/7, on the iHeartRadio app.
New Schools for New Orleans is excited to announce that our Katrina 20 exhibit, After the Storm, 20 Years of Change and Progress in New Orleans Public Education, is now open to the public. You can experience this powerful look at how our schools have transformed since Katrina at the New Orleans Public School Library's main branch, 219 Loyola Avenue, during regular business hours, now through December. Bring your friends, family members, students, and colleagues. Looking for a group visit for your school or organization? Email us at info@nsno.org.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
To the Good Morning Show. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM. The talk line is 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. My name is Will Sutton, and with me is Chief Eddie Compass, also known as Coach Eddie Compass, also known as Poppy.
That's my favorite title.
Who calls you Poppy?
My grandkids.
Oh, that's awesome.
Grandkids.
That's awesome.
So might not be too many people out in the street saying Poppy, Poppy.
Yeah.
But when he hears Poppy, oh my goodness,
I light up.
His heart melts.
Yeah.
All right. So we got our friend Kevin Ferguson from New Orleans and Company back with us again. man, there's just all kinds of stuff going on, and I really enjoy when you come here and share these things with us, because when people say I don't know what to do, or there's nothing going on, it's like, that's crazy.
There's
wild. So much going on,
and it's one of the amazing things about this city is that really any time of year you've got a variety of cultural events, festivals. We've got incredible cultural attractions and institutions here that are available all year round. We just wrapped Museum Month is a program we do in August concurrent with culinary and other programming. We had our wrap-up meeting yesterday with some of the institutions. And exciting to hear that energy, but you're just always aware there's so many amazing things that we have in a city. We're very fortunate for a city of this size that we have all the attractions, the institutions, the restaurants, all the festivals, events, things to do. And so we always encourage people to take advantage of that.
So I'm going to give you a friendship testimony.
Okay.
We have friends from North Carolina who come, let's just say they've been here, I don't know, 8-9 times.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So they've been here a bunch of times. But they brought their cousins this time. Their cousins from Rocky Mount, never been to New Orleans before. And they are travelers. They go places. They're both retired. They go places. They do things. Never been to New Orleans before. Finally got to spend a week in New Orleans. While they were here, they start looking at availability for January, February.
I love it.
And
wow. That's the
they
one.
hadn't even gotten back home yet.
I love it. That's
and they
what
were already looking for availability.
That's the ones I met at the movies.
That's correct.
They were really
the Braiders.
Yeah, they were like, man, y'all got something going on all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, they were very impressed.
And I give them a lot of credit for being here for a week. I think that's one of the challenging things about this city for a lot of people the first time they come. Right, they're here for 2 or 3 days, and they do a lot, but they're overwhelmed at all the things to do. So I think kudos to them for coming for a week and having some time to really explore and see things and get inspired to come back. I think that's the incredible thing about this city that we know is true.
Yeah. Well, I think it was day 3. They said, we know we'll be back.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
And they got to the end of the week.
Right.
So that was wonderful. But
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us some of the things coming up this fall. Great opportunities of various things to do.
It's always such an exciting time to see the calendar flip. There's so much that happens throughout the year, but we know as we get to fall season, you see an uptick in a lot of the festivals and events that are going on. This weekend, obviously very excited. Starting tomorrow is Fried Chicken Fest. Really proud. I think we talked before about the job Cleveland did with that. But to grow that event into such a big event that is nationally recognized, the partnership with many incredible partners and sponsors to really get people out and to activate that space out at the lakefront. Something that I always look forward to on my personal calendar. So that's going to be this Saturday and Sunday out there at the lakefront at the festival grounds. But so much more coming this fall. I was talking with Chris Beery from Funk Fest, which is coming up in 2 weekends out at the Jazz Museum and the grounds around the U.S. Mint. Really an incredible event. And, one of the things he always loves to mention, that event is certainly a celebration of the funk music culture of New Orleans, but it's also raising funds for the Louisiana Music and Heritage Experience that they're trying to build down by the river. So that's going to be a world-class museum that's going to celebrate Louisiana music and culture and the impact that it's had on the nation. And so just another great event that we certainly want folks to check out when they have time. NOLA by NOLA is wrapping up this weekend. Have continued to get great feedback about those free shows that are happening at venues all over the city. And one of the things that has been so great about that, I know we had the caller last week, there's never a bad time to support our musicians and folks that really make the culture here. And that's one of the things that's exciting about this time of year. There's so much activity with the festivals and events that you really know, okay, our culture bearers are going to have opportunities to make money. They're going to have opportunities to gig and do shows. And so we really want to always encourage folks to get out and explore that. So I'm trying to pull up my notes because it is a full calendar.
It is very full. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to miss a couple other things because, again, October is a great month. Crescent City Blues and Barbecue Festival. This is a personal favorite of mine. I don't know if I told you a story. When I first moved back here, I decided I wanted to work in sports. I've been working in hospitality. Took a pretty big pay cut to go work for the Zephyrs, the minor league baseball team.
Right.
And so I think the day I got offered the job, immediately started looking for part-time work to supplement that.
Right.
And one of the gigs I got was with the folks that do the Cochon DeLay Po' Boy, the Walker family at Jazz Fest, but they also do other festivals. And so I think Blues and Barbecue is one of the second or third ones I worked with them. And Lafayette Square is beautiful all the time. You know, Wednesday at the Square, Wildcy activates that in the spring. But in the fall, to see it come to life, Blues and Barbecue Festival, great music, 2 different stages, free to the public. And that's one of the festivals that Jazz and Heritage Foundation produces. They do a Jazz and Heritage Festival Foundation produces. They do an excellent job, and that's going to be October 10th as well. Gentilly Fest also out there to celebrate that neighborhood and area. The New Orleans Film Festival, Crew of Boo for our Halloween people coming up on the 25th.
Yep.
Treme Fall Fest, always a great event on the 25th as well. And then Nola Zydeco Fest. Shout out to Gabrielle. I don't know if you got to meet her, but tremendous young lady that's really keeping that culture vibrant and in front of stage, right? You know, it's a Louisiana culture, right? But it's something that we certainly celebrate in
the
New Orleans.
Other set of friends. they're looking at coming back for Zydeco Fest.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you know, the traditional Halloween celebrations here. This is a great city year round, but we know we do Halloween. It's one of the holidays we do like almost no other city in the country. So always great time with that. And then as we get into November, you know, we got the Classic coming up.
Oh, yeah.
And some other big events. So it's an exciting time on the calendar right now.
You know, when you look at the Gentilly Fest, that brings back all the people from Punch Train Park and stuff all together, you know, and I see people at this event that I haven't seen in years and years and years. So, I mean, it's really gotten big. It's really gotten big.
Oh, you know, and it's one of the things that we try to celebrate as an organization, right? I think a lot of times tourism naturally, because of convention center and different assets, gets very focused on downtown, the French Quarter. But when you go to our website, when you look at a lot of our editorial, we are promoting the unique neighborhoods of New Orleans. And that's one of the things that makes the city so special, right? There's a little culture that's universal, but also within each neighborhood and community, you've got things that they do, things they want to celebrate. And festival season is a great example of that. You look around. I know in November we'll also have Oak Street, the Po' Boy Festival. You'll have Beignet Fest that takes you out to kind of the city park area. So it's a nice way to see the city in different parts of the city by checking out these festivals as well.
Right, and not all of them are ticketed.
No. And that's one of the great things. You know, I think we're still fortunate that a lot of our festival organizers recognize that they want to really be an asset to the community, right? And so we certainly want folks to go out. But remember, when you go in there, buy your food, buy your drinks, because they're counting on that for revenue, right? You know, don't sneak in that water bottle or that bite of food. Bring some money, enjoy those free festivals, but make sure you support the vendors, the artists, all the people that are there, because that helps support the festivals as well.
Right. Now, can you update us on the Connections Trade Show?
Connections Trade Shows next week. We're excited about it. You know, this is an event that we started a couple years ago to really further our mission. You know, part of our mission is making sure that tourism and hospitality and all the conferences and conventions and meetings that our team brings here really benefit our community, both socially, economically as well. And so this is really an effort to connect our smaller and more diverse businesses with those opportunities, especially from the bigger ones, right? And so one of the things that we've seen as we've talked to folks in our industry, particularly folks that are running organizations and in charge of procurement, you know, they also want to engage in this, but they ask for some help. They said, hey, you know, we've got a lot of things we're trying to accomplish as a business. You know, if there's some support that you can provide to help connect us with those smaller businesses and diverse businesses, it would be appreciated. And so one of the things we did was partner with the Convention Center on their SEB Connect app, which is a great program that they've been running internally to connect to diverse suppliers. And then what they started over the last year is to expand that to some of the partners. So the port came on, we came on to provide our members more opportunity to tap into that talent. And then we have this Connections event, which is really more about making those personal connections. So the SB Connect app is where people can post RFPs and work they need and connect with professionals to fill those services. This is more about those immediate touches, getting people on the radar. So it's kind of a reverse trade show. We'll have about 35 small businesses that are exhibiting there, and then we're going to have about 200 folks from our industry and other businesses, hopefully decision makers, procurement, but even folks that just want to get to know more about what's out there available from a service side. And that's going to be at the Marriott. We're really excited about that on October 9th. And then LaToya Martin from the Convention Center, who leads that SEB Connect program, is going to take some time at the beginning to talk to our vendors about why they should participate. And she'll also talk to the folks that are there about why they should participate and post their RFPs. so they can tap into that talent and those resources.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, so these are small businesses, and so maybe they have a particular service or something that they provide. They're not on a grand scale with big billboards and television and radio advertising.
Exactly.
They're word of mouth and maybe some social media. They might have 1, 2, 3 employees, but they are a business. They've got all their paperwork together.
Exactly.
So they are the exhibitors.
That's correct.
And all these people are coming to say, what you got?
Exactly.
That's
perfect.
Can I use you?
Yeah.
I mean, basically, you sit there and they come to you, and it's like, tell us about yourself. Maybe we can do business.
Exactly.
That's what's happening?
That's what's happening. And when you think about, how business works, right? You've got things that can go out to RFP that are at scale, but a lot of times people are looking for regular services that they need 2, 3, 4 times a year, or they're looking for products. And it's very convenient and easy to go to that person that you already know, right? Like, we're all creatures of habit. You have those relationships. Right. Okay, I know this guy can do this. And we're not trying to limit those opportunities for people that have done this business. But at the same time, there's so many new and emerging businesses. We've got 1,100 members. The vast majority are small and medium-sized businesses, right? And so for us, it's important to make sure that they're getting the exposure. They're able to build those same relationships that other people have had for years.
When I always talk about, economic impact, what is the tangible gauge in which you guys use to measure economic impact from these various festivals?
So there's some economic impact calendars that are calculators, that are kind of standardized across the industry. There's a group we work with, Destinations International, that has a really strong one that we use specifically for conferences, conventions, major events. And then on the festivals themselves, some of them do their own reporting. They'll partner with a UNO or a Tulane to do those calculations. We've also got some things that we look at where we can kind of track visitation and volume of people, where folks are coming from, right? And for us, it is always important, going back to our mission, to bring people here from outside of the area, from outside of the state. But when you look at even travel within the state, people coming in, the drive market continues to be huge for us. So even folks coming in from other parts of Louisiana or other parts of the Gulf region is incredibly impactful. So it's kind of a combination of those. There's that direct economic impact that you can calculate, you can, anticipate based on what we know, that, average hotel rates, how long people are staying in town, and that gives you those numbers. But, there's a broader impact too when you think about all the vendors at these festivals, right? The folks that are cooking and selling the food, the artists that are there displaying their wares. And so it's not just about the visitation impact. We kind of look at what impact does this have on the community, and that's a lot of the ways that we make decisions about how we support and activate and be at festivals. But we'll be at Fried Chicken Fest. So come by our tent out there.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really fun activation we're doing. We've got some giveaways that we're doing. We just ask people to do a quick 2-question survey, and they have a chance to enter or win a trip back here in 26 for French Quarter Fest as part of that.
Well, that Chicken Fest has really grown in a pretty darn short period of time. And for those who haven't been out there, or maybe you haven't been in a couple of years, make sure you have a parking plan. Make sure you have a parking plan. It's not like just going out to Lakeshore Drive and driving up and down and pull over here, because there's a whole thing of setup so that they can pull off a really good festival.
Yes.
Some places where you might normally park, if you go over there periodically, you're not going to be able to park there. So you have to look at the parking setups that are available, or park a little further down and get some steps in and walk over to the National Chicken Festival.
Well, get there early. That's always a little secret, especially for parking. They've got some parking right by the Lakefront Arena and those fields over there. But it's one of the things I love about that is, people sometimes have this idea of New Orleans and they think more about downtown. They don't think about areas like City Park or the Lakefront.
Right.
And we've got beautiful natural scenery and beautiful greenery here. But it's one of the things we saw in surveys, both from conventions and visitors. That's not what they think about with New Orleans. Right. And so it's great to have these events that can bring people to the lake, to City Park, to Lafayette Square, to some of these spaces that folks don't normally associate with the city as well.
Right. Now, how's Nochi going?
Nochi's going well. So we're, I think, about 2 weeks in. I think we started on September 22nd. We connect with the team every week. And we've had some really good turnout, but we've still got about 3 weeks of programming left. a program that we're really excited about, to Serving Up Hospitality. They've been a great partner. And again, this is something that's going to benefit our workforce with functional skills, with more learning around different aspects of hospitality and delivering excellent service, but also providing some of those fundamental skills, things like financial management, time management, that are so important, right? Regardless of what industry you work in, everybody focuses on work, and sometimes we have to make sure we're taking care of ourselves and also understanding how to balance the finances of that too. And that's something that was really critical with them when we were looking at the different programming they were offering. We wanted this to be more than just hospitality training. We want it to be something that could engage folks and support them in other aspects of their life. And we know with this industry, with the ups and downs of tourism, sometimes during the summer, that financial piece is really important. You know, we can't just make money. We've got to learn how to manage money and save money as well.
Is there a component within the training for upward mobility within the organization, within the industry?
There is. One of the assets of, or one of the seminars is really about advancement as well. You know, this program, and this is, we're kind of piloting this, right? We've got a program we've been doing with LSU Continuing Ed for 2 years that was really specifically focused on advancement and retention and allowing folks to move up. With this one, it's a little bit more broad, and we have more capacity with this, which was what really was exciting. That the LSU program, the cohorts we have are about 20 to 30 people. With this one, we've got capacity for 50 students or 50 workers each session, and then we do 5 sessions. We do each of them twice, right? So if you build that out, you've got capacity for about 500 people to go through this. And so for this one, there is a modular seminar that talks about advancement and how to kind of advance within a career as part of that. So it's critical, right? Because I think for us, we want people that love this industry and want to be in this industry to have the opportunity to advance, and providing that support is really important. And again, this is one that we work through our HR committee, through the folks that are in the HR in this industry, and they've done a great job of pushing this out. But we still got space for those other classes. So I want to make sure I get this right. I'm never good at reading off websites, guys. So
it's all right. Take your time. Take your time. But you're listening to WBOK 1230 AM. The talk line is 504-582-9422. Again, 504-582-9422. I'm Will Sutton. I'm here with Chief Eddie Confus, and we are in conversation with our friend Kevin Ferguson from New Orleans & Company, talking about all the wonderful things that are going on this weekend and in upcoming days and weeks coming up this month and next month. So much going on, and Kevin is here talking with us about that. So if you got a comment or a question, give a ring at 504-582-9422.
Thank you, Will. That gave me time. So it's nochi.org/serving-up-hospitality. But you could probably also Google search that and pull it up. But it's a great program. Gerald and his team over there, Jet and Jason, do a wonderful job. And working in partnership with workforce providers and trainers like that is important for us.
Do y'all reach out to the high schools too? Because usually, when people are getting in the industry, because I started out. Matter of fact, I started out in the industry. I worked at a hotel.
As many people do.
And I took a very circuitous route to becoming in law enforcement. But a lot of people that I worked with, they're still in the industry. That was back in the 70s, and they're now general managers. And so I want to let people know that you can make a really good living in the hospitality industry if you apply yourself.
Well, that's a big part for us, right? One of the things that we're trying to do is certainly to support this industry, provide resources, but also make sure folks are aware of the opportunity with it, right? So even beyond the Job Fest, the Jobs Board, the trainings that we do work a lot with younger kids to really let them know that there are opportunities and careers, not just jobs in hospitality. Right. So we've got some great relationships. We're fortunate. Warren Easton has a great hospitality program that they run out of their school. Jeremy Ledlow leads that and is just a tremendous individual. If anybody's gotten a chance to meet Jeremy, tremendous work in really connecting kids and getting them on site, right? That's one of the things that I think is important when you're young, is those tangible experiences where you're meeting people, where you're seeing what a workplace looks like. And I think it's one of the challenges we have here. We have a lot of kids that don't have exposure to a lot of professional careers, right? And so to me, it like everything else, when you're young and you're trying to think about what you want to do, you know what's close to you. And so getting folks exposed to the convention center and all the different variety of jobs that are there, right? From the back of the house to the front of the house, to sales, to national sales, to event management, to logistics, to operations. Those things are important. So we've worked not just with Jeremy and Warren Easton, but other programs to really connect kids and get them on-site at jobs with some of our employers and folks in our business and industry. And Arielle Dessay on my team has done an incredible job of that. So she's been with New Orleans & Company for about a decade now and preceded me, but she leads our community engagement and workforce development and really has a great job of making sure that we're both supporting folks that are in the industry now and ideally setting the stage for the next generation of people that are going to work in hospitality and tourism.
I know we're going to have to let you go soon, but help me with this. New Orleans is such a music-rich city, and we have a music month.
Yes.
Whoa. So we have a music month in a city that year-round has great music.
Yes.
Talk to us about Music Month.
So we are a destination sales and marketing organization, and sometimes in marketing you want to plant your flag, right? You know, I think we all know that New Orleans is a year-round music city. But as you kind of look around the landscape and you think about how do you really position the city for success year-round, and you look at opportunity, right? And so a couple of years ago, we started looking at October, and while we've got this great reputation, we started noticing things were aligning, right? You had the tremendous amount of festivals that happen in October. You have things like NOLA by NOLA, that's, you know, now in its 4th or 5th year, and you see that kind of crosses that September to October border. There's some great conferences, NOLA Music Con, that happened in October, and it felt like an opportunity to kind of plant a flag to really encourage folks to come back and visit during that month, experience all the great festivals, music, venues during that month. And on top of that, it was interesting. When we rolled this out a couple of years ago, we got some feedback from some of our venues that said, hey, we have a lot of people that come in for Jazz Fest from out of town, and then almost organically, a lot of them end up coming back around the October timeframe, right? You know, it's about 6 months later. You know, obviously people travel a lot, but, you know, if you're coming from further out, you're probably not coming to New Orleans on a monthly basis. And so it was kind of a natural return point later in the year. It's the fall. It's cooled off a little bit. And so that was just kind of fortuitous. Like there's already a natural position of people to return, but really wanted to kind of keep the word out and encourage people because you've got these huge things in the spring. French Quarter Fest, Jazz Fest that attract so many music lovers to the city en masse. We know that these people come year round, but October felt like a natural time to kind of say, hey, if you're a music lover and you love to come in the spring, October is a great time to come back, celebrate the unique music and culture that we have here. And there's so much already built into the calendar that it just kind of made sense to wrap our arms around that and really push out some promotion for October as a music month. So I think this is our 3rd year of promoting it that way. And again, so much of it is already there, right? When you already have those pieces there, you know, sometimes you have to build things, right? You have to say, okay, how do we program this and get all these things happening? But there's so much music anyway. And then on top of that, with the dearth of festivals, it just really made a lot of sense for us. So our team did some really beautiful design for logos and branding, and we continue to market that across the country as a great time to come back and enjoy music in New Orleans.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. We always enjoy having you come in, and as great as it is to have you here, it's even nicer to go to some of these events.
Yes.
I mean, there's so many good things. My friends from North Carolina was like, you're such a great cheerleader for New Orleans. It's like, oh, we love our city. I am not the cheerleader. I'm really not. There are so many of us. We love our place. We have the right to complain and criticize because we want to see things be better and because we live here. But we love people to come here and experience what we experience day in and day out. And so that's why it comes in off that way when I talk to people about, I'm so happy you're here. I really am, whether I know them or not. I'll meet people I've never met before in my life. And I'm like, I'm so glad you're here. Have you been here before? What are you doing? How many days do you have? You know, so and that's true for a number of us.
Well, and it's what, you know, I talk about our mission a lot, but the vision that we also crafted is that New Orleans is the most remarkable, unique, and welcoming city in the world, right? And that's because of the spirit of the people here. We love to host. We love to recommend things. We love to see people enjoy the city. And that's why I was smiling when you were talking about the first timers, because you know there's nothing like seeing somebody experience the city for the first time, and that's one of the things that makes it so wonderful.
Yep. Well, thank you, Kevin Ferguson from New Orleans and Company, updating us on all the wonderful things, activities, and choices we have for goings on this weekend and in coming days and weeks. We're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about how we can be financially healthy with our friends from Liberty Bank. I'm Will Sutton. This is Chief Eddie Compass, and you are listening to WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
All right, kid. I like that.
Norman Robinson is back.
Can you hear me now?
And he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Good Friday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. Multiple investigations now underway after a violent night in the Crescent City. The latest happened in Gentilly. Police say a man was gunned down around 2 o'clock this morning on Louisa Street near Chef Mentor Highway. And a few hours before that, police were on the scene of another homicide where a woman was killed in the Broadmoor neighborhood. Police say this happened around 11 o'clock last night on General Taylor Street near South Dorgenwall Street. Today, NOPD Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick is expected to meet with state leaders about the possibility of the National Guard coming to New Orleans. She says she was told to meet with National Guard leaders, State Police Superintendent Robert Hodges, and Governor Jeff Landry. A request from the governor would deploy the Guard to New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Shreveport through next year to address crime. All right, y'all, Gretna Fest gets underway this afternoon, bringing thousands of people together to enjoy music, food, arts, and crafts, all while supporting local businesses. Some of the headliners for this year's festival include Sam Hunt, Trombone Shorty, and Orleans Ave, Collective Soul, Brothers Osborne, and Natasha Bedingfield. And the 9th Annual Fried Chicken Fest kicks off tomorrow, and event organizers are preparing for a record crowd. This year, the fest will have a 5K on Saturday morning before the fest starts. There's also a more family-friendly environment with special kid areas and Ferris wheel as well. An exciting weekend for a lot of festival goers out there. I'm Daryl Fortis with WDSU News. Have a great day and a great weekend.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
New Orleans is an easy city to love. It shouldn't be a hard place to live. I'm Matthew Willard, born and raised in Gentilly, proud to carry on my family's tradition of public service. In less than 6 years, I passed 36 bills that made a difference. Now I'm running for City Council at Large Division 1 so we can keep living in the city we love. Safe, affordable, and one that gets the job done. New Orleans, let's make it happen. Paid for by the Matthew Willard Campaign.
You're invited to step back into New Orleans history for Community Day at the Dewdrop Inn with Tulane University's Special Collections, presented by the Primo Memorial Series. Saturday, October 18th from 12 to 2 p.m. Celebrate the Dewdrop Inn legacy with a live musical show. Enjoy a brunch buffet and explore archival materials. Free admission, but space is limited. For more information, visit library.tulane.edu/Dewdrop Community Day.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK 1230 AM. The talk line is 504 582-9422, 504-582-9422. I am Will Sutton, and with me is Chief Eddie Compass, and we're very happy to have our friends here from Liberty Bank and Junior Achievement. We've got Ann Duplessis. Are you on the line?
Absolutely on the line. Good morning.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
We've got your friends and colleagues here in studio with us. We're happy to have you online. And we are going to be talking about financial health today because Chief Eddie's a big proponent of living healthy and being healthy and exercising to be healthy. But there's an important aspect that sometimes we let slip. And that is our financial health. So we are happy to have you here with us. Angel Burns and Ann Duplessis on the phone, and Larry Washington from Junior Achievement of Greater New Orleans, which we found out the last time is way more than Greater New Orleans now.
There you
go. Inclusive of so much more. So let's talk about Junior Achievement and what they're doing with Liberty Bank so that people can get updated about that partnership. People know Liberty Bank, been around for a long time, very important part of our community, and not just in financial ways. And people know about Junior Achievement. Even if they moved to other places, I did. I left New Orleans and moved around. I'm used to Junior Achievement here, Junior Achievement there, Junior Achievement there, and so all around. But so these two entities have tremendous brand names, but you're working together.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
Absolutely. So, we've been committed to teaching young people financial literacy now in New Orleans for 70 years. And believe it or not, this year we're going to reach our 1 million student educating kids in this space.
Wow, 1 million. That's impressive.
1 million.
Absolutely. And, what we knew is a couple of years ago, the state decided that all young people needed to have a financial literacy credit before they graduate high school. And we knew we were the people to do that for young people because we have the track record to say so. And so we got together with Jays across the state and developed a curriculum that was specific to the state mandate. And then when we went to talk to Liberty Bank about this, Mr. McDonald quickly said, I want to be a part of that. And I think the reason why he was so quick to say he wanted to be a part of that is because, like Chief Compass understands physical health, I think Mr. McDonald understands the need for financial health. And when we thought about this program, it's one thing to teach young people about financial literacy very young, but in order for that to stick, in order for that to work, it has to also be embedded in the family and embedded in the community. And Will, you made the point about how Liberty Bank has, for more than 50 years, been embedded in this community in so many ways. And so it made a lot of sense for us to talk to Liberty Bank about how we can support families and teachers and others in the community while we're lifting up young people as it relates to financial literacy.
Good. And so what, from the Liberty Bank's vantage point, what was so engaging about the idea of working with Junior Achievement? I mean, because there are a lot of organizations in the city. So why JA?
Well, JA, good morning, first of all.
Good
Thank
morning.
you for having us.
Yes.
I think it's because JA just has a research-based curriculum, excellent professionals who are providing the training and support. The training and support is in person, on call, text, in person. It's just not someone somewhere else on a line. The professionals actually come in and work with the teachers, and it's research based. It's interesting. It's a hybrid. You can use pencil and paper. It's on the internet.
Imagine
it's
that,
web based.
pencil and paper.
Whoa. It's rare that people use the pencil paper.
Yeah, right,
Mostly
right.
use
Right.
the online
Yeah,
platform.
I understand.
But I think for Liberty Bank, it's just a great partnership. And it's a way that we can take our experts in banking and we can actually go out and speak to the students when the teachers get to a particular part of the curriculum that lends itself to one of our banking professionals to get in front of the students. So I think that's exciting. Mr. McDonald wants to get kids interested in banking and careers in financial institutions early on. And also, usually the research shows if you open an account early with Liberty Bank, you stick with Liberty Bank because Liberty Bank will make a difference in your life. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Senior Vice President Ann, let's hear from you.
Yeah. So, listen, I think you said it perfectly a little earlier about the strong brands. Both Junior Achievement is well trusted throughout this community and throughout the country on what they provide for families and children, and so are we. And so it just makes sense for us to take these two well-respected organizations, brands, and bring true, solid information to our families. JA is touching students directly. We want to be able to touch both students as well as families. When we come on this show every week, we talk about the types of financial services we have to offer to the community. But for some reason, people still are saying, "Oh, I didn't know you had a visa as low as 9.96. I didn't know you had debt consolidation loans. I didn't realize we could do a mortgage with you at a much better rate, at a much more reasonable rate." And so this was our opportunity to say, hey, we now are going to have an additional captive audience of thousands of kids, thousands of families. And if they didn't know before, we're hopeful that this partnership will bring true information and their ability to make better financial decisions.
Wonderful. So who are the people benefiting from this?
Well, I think lots of folks are benefiting from it. First, we talk about the young people. Junior Achievement Greater New Orleans, much like you said before, covers 13 parishes here in Southeast Louisiana and then 29 counties in southern Mississippi. But as it stands right now, like I said, this is a state mandate for Louisiana. So we have students in Orleans Parish, Jefferson Parish, St. John Parish, Terrebonne Parish, and some others who are doing this programming and benefited from it. So when you think about the fact that this is an opportunity to not only just educate those young people, but the teachers in those same communities, and then eventually the families in those same communities, this is something that has real good tentacles, I'd like to say, because many folks all across this region are being impacted by it.
Cool.
When you look at the banking business, in the early stages when we were younger, a lot of the technology and a lot of the procedural things that relates to money is superannuated and obsolete. Now I think this is going to get the individual kids to understand that, it's fluid. The banking business is fluid. It's in constant change. It's a constant state of flux. And you have to keep up with it because basically the markets are changing. When you talk about a diversified portfolio, you're putting your money in things as far as the stock market. You just can't just put your money in a bank in a savings account that's getting 2 or 3% and expect it to grow. So I think it's great, showing these kids how to basically diversify.
No, I agree. And the cool thing about the curriculum that we have, Angel talked about the fact that we can bring in professionals that can support and supplement what's happening in the classroom, but we also have some experiential pieces that come with it. So you talk about investing. A piece of this program is something called the Stock Market Challenge, where students are learning the fundamentals of investing, and then real time, they're able to compete against each other to see how their investments grow. And you talk about getting young people excited about investing and excited about banking and excited about how money actually can move in their future. I think it's cool that that's happening real time in our schools right now.
Right. We're going to have to go. Go ahead.
If I could say, as you talked about how we used to do things back when you were a pup, that's true. But banking has changed, but the principles of managing money will never change. When you think about the cost of money. Whether you use a bank or a fintech, there is a cost associated with that. And so what this program is hopeful, and I'm not hopeful, will do, is to help people and kids and families understand, okay, you do have choices. You have more convenient choices. You have, go on the computer on your mobile device and choose, a certain type of financial product. But you have to be aware of what is it costing you? What's the end result of that choice? And that's what we're hoping to also be able to educate our families on.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to have to go to break, and when we come back, we've got some more conversation about being financially healthy with our friends from Liberty Bank, and thank you so much for being here. This is always good information, good reminders, and there are action steps for people to take to make sure that people are doing what they can, not just for their kids, but for themselves and for their families. We're going to go to break, and we'll be right back. This is WBOK, 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Partly to mostly cloudy at times. Most of the storms confined to the coast, but a 30 to 40% chance of scattered storms in New Orleans, a high of 85. Partly to mostly cloudy, a 30 to 40% chance of scattered showers and storms on Saturday, a high of 84. Showers and storms likely are overnight Saturday to Sunday. Rain winding down through the day on Sunday, and that should be all of southeast Louisiana that gets that rain. We're looking for highs confined down to about 83. Watching a couple areas of possible formation in the Atlantic and tropics, I'm not concerned. I'm Chief Meteorologist Devin Lucy with your WDSU First Warning Weather. Have a safe and great weekend.
It's a family affair at the Gentilly Fest, October 10th through 12th. Located at Pontchartrain Park, 5701 Press Drive. Admission is free. Get your Gentilly Fest VIP experience, including complimentary food, drink, seating near the stage, and a parking pass. Tasty, delicious food, art, and crafts with host Malik Mingo. Live music from Frank Richard of Chocolate Milk, James Andrews, Ladies of Soul, Michelle Cook, Naja Kojo, and Sharon Martin, DJ Captain Chicky Charles, and the one and only 803 Fresh. Boots on the ground. For more information, visit GentillyFestival.com. Sponsored by Louisiana Feed Your Soul and NOTCL.
Michelle Woodfork is New Orleans born and raised. She walked the same streets we do. She's a proud graduate of St. Mary's Academy and a career public servant who rose through the ranks to become chief of police. She earned a master's in criminal justice, reduced crime, rebuilt morale, and brought in new officers committed to serving this city. This isn't a stepping stone. It's home. She's from here. This is personal. She's lived the challenges. She's earned the trust. And when she puts on that uniform, it's not just a job, it's a promise to protect the city that raised her. She'll make sure the jail is safe and accountable, that people get the help they need, and that no one gets left behind. Michelle Woodfork knows what this city deserves because it's her city too. Michelle Woodfork, the right choice.
Paid for by Michelle Woodfork for Sheriff.
Vote for Kenneth Cutno. On Saturday, October 11th, a vote for Kenneth Cutno is a vote for lower energy bills, lower sewage and water board rates, affordable housing, decreased crime, and a higher citizen wage. Vote Kenneth Cutno, number 31. For City Council at Large, Division 2, vote Kenneth Cutno.
This measure has been approved by Kenneth Cutno.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060. Hey everybody, it's Kimber White Dupree.
And it's Graylin Bryant Banks from the front porch. We're coming up next.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton with Chief Eddie Compass, and we are talking with our friends from Liberty Bank and Junior Achievement, Reverend Ree Kastner. I think I have that name right. We see you. Reverend Ree Kastner, is that the name?
Good morning. Yes, it is.
All right. Good morning. You're on the line with Liberty Bank and Junior Achievement.
Enjoying the show. You're just the most knowledgeable. Hats off to Sister Ann Duplessis. Been knowing her for years. She works well with the community, doing an outstanding job. Remember Junior Achievement when I was in school 10,000 years ago. Let me say this about all that. You know, financial accountability and responsibility. Our children need to know that at an early age. But as I think about this conversation, I think about all the young people in this city that has to move out because of financial accountability on our leadership side leaves a lot to be desired. Why can't young people afford housing in New Orleans? Why they got to move to Slidell, where they're offering houses at a much cheaper rate and much more housing? Let me move on a little further. We're in the midst of election. We're talking about financial accountability. When the last time the school board accounted for that $36 million that they seem to have lost and want the city? And when you say the city, you're talking about taxpayers like me, want us to come up with the money. Financial responsibility. What about the city council and the mayor with this budget that's overran, right? And we, the citizens, got to make up that difference. See, we are astute enough to understand you're going to raise our fees, and we're going to have to pay that money back. And somewhere down the line, somebody should have caught all that and be accountable. But not only that, when you talk about accountability, all the people that's lining up behind these candidates, you're responsible too, because you're selling it to our people like it's going to be a great change. And you know well as I know, if we don't change our mindset, nothing in this city will change.
Well, thank you, Reverend, for calling in. Appreciate your comments and your context for your background with Liberty Bank and Junior Achievement. And, of course, some of that financial accountability starts at home with our kids. And so let's hear more about what Liberty Bank has going on with the financial experts being available to talk to high school students, the possibility of financial fitness and wealth being family engagement, and lunch and learn opportunities.
Yeah, you know, the Reverend made me think about the fact that it's never too early to start learning about budgeting and needs and wants and how our financial decisions, whether we're a young person, you're leading your family, or you're running a professional organization, your decisions make a difference in not only your life, but the lives of others. And so if our young people can learn these things early, it can really set them on a trajectory for success. And, you know, because there are lots of traps you can fall into. You know, as soon as the kids graduate from from high school, remember when the credit card individuals would be on campus trying to get us college kids to sign up for credit cards.
Unemployed college kids.
$500. $500.
Yep.
Well, luckily, there's rules against them they cannot be on campus anymore, predatory to our young college students. But what they do, as soon as our kids turn 18, they start to receive those credit card applications in the mail. And our young people need to be able to make decisions early on, because making the right decision or making the wrong decision can really, it can follow you for a long time. You cannot have a job and already have a jacked up credit score because of some early decisions. So we really just want young people to be set up for success, for financial success.
No, I agree. And another thing I would add, going back to something the Reverend said about how do we get our young people to stay here. Certainly there's so many factors, affordable housing, good health care, et cetera. But they also have to be connected to high-wage, high-growth job opportunities that exist right here in this region. And that's another piece of the work that we do just overall. But the cool thing about this financial literacy program is that we're weaving in components just like that. So when Jill talks about, Liberty Bank being able to come in and volunteer in classrooms, they do that in two ways. One, to talk about the careers that are available, and then two, to supplement what the teacher is teaching. And so we're doing all the work that we can to expose young people to those highway track growth careers and get them on the pathway for the right training to be able to take part of them and stay here.
Wonderful. So
the one thing we did not, I'm sorry, I can't see you guys, so I, know when to jump in, but the one thing we are missing that's really important is the information and the education that we're actually giving to our educators. They are actually benefiting as well because many of our teachers and educators, need to better understand how to manage their current affairs. And so this is such a win-win when we can then go to our educators and say, how do we help you manage your debt better? Because they're probably the ones with student loans and all of the other credit cards that they got caught up in are wanting to purchase their first home. If we can show them how to take, the information and do a mortgage loan, first-time home buyers, which we work at the bank a lot with first-time home buyers. We've actually put together programs for our educators on how to purchase a home and have done some 100% financing in the past. So we are very excited not only about the opportunities of beginning to educate our young people from being a pup, but also who want to be in that same financial wellness position, and then further buying homes and consolidating debt through, our debt consolidation loans.
Great. All right, so we are getting close to the end, so we have a couple of minutes.
Okay.
And then we're going to have to close out and get ready for the front porch. So talk with us about the Our Money Matters. We talked about this before. I just think it's an important tool and resource. And so I don't want you to get out of here without talking about that.
Yeah, we're really proud of Our Money Matters. And so if anything that we've said resonates with you as a young person, as a parent, or as an educator, go on to libertybank.net and look for Our Money Matters, sign up, and they're just about every part of your life that you're in, whether you're a student, you're looking for career paths, working on that credit score, first-time home ownership, like Ann mentioned, it's all there. And so it's a wealth of resources. So please check out Our Money Matters on libertybank.net.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Ann Duplessis, Angel Burns, and Mr. Larry Washington. It's always a pleasure to have you come in and talk with us about how we can be financially healthy. We certainly want to focus on our youth and getting them on the right track. But the truth is, even if we've been on the right track, we get off sometimes. So we want to get back. And before you leave, and I hope you're listening, Miss Ann, we certainly at WBOK want to thank you for helping Equity Media with the acquisition of the additional stations. Expanding the WBOK brand.
That is awesome.
And good things are in the works. And it's a wonderful thing to look at this black radio station again as a New Orleanian who has lived in different places and seen the importance of black talk radio. And going places where there isn't any.
Yep.
Okay.
It makes such a difference. And the fact that this financial institution has helped make this happen to expand this brand is significant, and we appreciate that. So we're going to have to leave and get out of here. We've kept the seats warm for Kemba and Graylin, and they're coming up with the front porch next. Before we leave, I do want to bring to your attention again, the election is October 11th. Early voting is today and tomorrow, and I'm going to give you a very quick note. We have all kinds of endorsements across the city, and I want to let you know that the Data News Weekly has made a mayoral endorsement. The Louisiana Weekly has made a mayoral endorsement, and the New Orleans Tribune has made an endorsement as well. So the Dallas News Weekly recommends for mayor Helena Moreno. The Louisiana Weekly recommends for mayor Royce Duplessis. The New Orleans Tribune recommends for mayor Oliver Thomas. So there you go. So you want to know about some other endorsements? There are many, but I don't think everybody knew what those organizations, those black newspapers were thinking. So there you have it. More about that next week. If the Lord is willing, we'll be back here on Monday morning on the Good Morning Show. You're coming up next, going to hear from Kemba and Graylin with the Front Porch. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.